Is that what that means? I didn't know.
It's hard to tell what finger it is, isn't it?
See what finger actually was.
Yeah,
I'll ask Kyle here in a second.
I'm sorry. Okay. Welcome to the Drainage Board October meeting. Please stand. We'll do the pledge to the flag. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Present.
Ms. Reagan,
Present.
Mr. Christie,
Present.
Mr. Buffalo, Mr. Wisely,
Present.
Mr. Borchers.
Here.
Approval of the September meeting of the minutes. Any additions or corrections?
I did not see any. I move we accept.
I second that.
Have motion before us, properly second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Buffalo.
Table business. Jerry Schroyer, Mr. Surveyor.
I motion to remove table business
Do I hear a second?
for discussion, remove from the table for discussion.
Second.
Have a motion before us, properly second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes,
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Buffalo.
Just
All
to,
right. Mr. Surveyor.
just to give you guys an update on this, Mr. Schroyer did bring in another estimate. If you guys remember, this is for a head wall that the NRCS drew up, where we've replaced the tile over the last few years, put in a 24-inch tile, and it daylights into a open ditch. The old head wall that was there was for maybe like a 16-inch tile. It's broken down and they couldn't retrofit it with the new size of the new tile. Jerry Schroyer came in my office sometime this last week. He handed me another proposal to do the concrete head wall for $16,440. He did offer that he would pay half of that in order to get this done, because he said the concrete people, basically it's dry now and you got to go back, I don't know, 1,500 foot off the road to get to where this daylights into the ditch. So, that's going to be, $8,220 that we would have to fill out. But I also feel by the time we send someone out there to buy riprap, if we have to do any fillable flow and shape that, I think this is about what we'd spend anyways, just on riprap and the contractor. And if he's willing to shell out half of it to get this done right, like the NCRS wanted, I feel like it's kind of a good deal, but I'll leave that up to the board.
in your opinion, what would the consequences be if we did not address this head wall?
I would say that we would have some sort of, in the spring, we'd have some sort of washing out where that's going into a ditch that's probably halfway full to full when we get a big rain event, and it's going to start washing out around the tile that's there. So at some point, you're going to have to address some sort of washing out issue, especially during large rain events in the spring, which will make us have to go in there and put riprap in anyways.
You have any idea how long that cement wall's been there?
Oh,
Years ago?
yeah, I would say 60s.
Yeah.
It's broken down. It's hard to judge cement structures and how old they are. And I don't know when they put them in.
Are you making it thicker or?
They had the plans and I just kind of glanced over them. Usually if you have the NCRS draw you up something, they usually do a pretty good job. I
They
didn't
did
go
the
over the
design.
overall thickness. And I also think that if you put a metal structure in there, like we've talked about in the past, I think a lot of times you still have to go in there and pour some sort of footer on those. I'm not for sure how they all go in. Like I said, I haven't installed a lot of them, but yeah.
Are you comfortable with the contractor that Mr. Schroyer
I've
selected?
I've never used them. Like I said, I don't pour a whole lot of concrete. He seemed to be all right with them. I mean, if he's willing to shell out half of it, I feel like he's pretty confident in it.
So if the job gets done, then when that's completed, that's the end of it for the foreseeable future.
I agree, yes, because everything else is brand new except for where this outfalls.
I motion to move forward with this project and the contractor that Mr. Schroyer selected, with him paying half of the expense.
Second,
Have a motion before us, properly second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead.
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
yes.
Mr. Christie.
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Mr. Surveyor, Arnold's claim.
I think last time, I'm not sure if we had that tabled to see if we're allowed to pay him less, pay him none, pay him whatever the board decided.
I remember that, Mr. Murphy was gonna try to work on, arrive at a number, and that he would have that number for us today. That's what I remember.
I just remember it being tabled. I think, I don't know if he was going to find a specific number, but we could pay him a certain percentage, and how the legality of that worked is how I remember it.
The discussion at the last meeting was, would we award a partial payment for this job based on the work that was completed? And when we decided to table it, it was to determine how much, if any, of the work had been completed. Did we receive quotes from additional contractors to
Yeah,
finish this?
I got 3 quotes. So today.
I would like to hold on before we decide how much to award to Mr. Arnold until we see what the quotes are from the new contractors to finish the work, based on the expense that we're going to encounter finishing the job. That may help determine how much of the job was completed by Mr. Arnold.
That's kind of an unknown. I'll second that.
So this is to continue to table this.
Well, I think we can decide today at the meeting, but I'd like to open the quotes for the completion of this work before we decide what that we're going to do with the claim from the last meeting by Mr. Arnold.
I guess what I mean is we're tabling the claim for Arnold Excavating, that we will not cut them a check. And we don't even know at this point how much that check will be, if anything.
Well, what I'm saying is we may be able to decide that at this meeting, but I would like to open these quotes before we decide what we're going to do with Mr. Arnold, if that makes sense.
Yes, I think that does. Mr. Hamilton,
It does.
can we open them now, please?
Yes, sir.
Roll
Oh.
call. On the motion.
Well, I didn't make a motion.
Oh,
He didn't
you
make
did?
a motion.
Oh, okay.
I just,
Just
I
a verbal.
suggested,
Just a verbal.
is that okay?
I guess
Yeah.
my thought would be, I'm trying to draw the connection between these bids and the next contractor and what played out with Mr. Arnold. I mean, to me, it kind of stands alone.
Well, as I recall, Mr. Arnold bid about $19,000 for this job. He may have completed some portion of this. The next contractor had bid $37,000, I believe, to do this job before Mr. Arnold acted on it. If it appears that the new quotes are significantly less than what that they were the first round of bidding, then I would say that some portion of this job has been completed. Or John, what would you like to do?
Let's do what you want to.
Okay.
Do you want me to open these now?
please.
One prefaces, Mr. Fullenkamp sent in a bid, and he was a little apprehensive on the finish date because he says he has 3 or 4 jobs now that he can't finish because of the burn ban. Now, granted, the completion date is in January for this, so I assume the burn ban will be lifted. I said that I'm sure that the drainage board would be able to work with you if you've got everything cleaned up in a pile ready to burn, waiting on a burn ban to be lifted. I said I'm sure that the drainage board would work with you on that. I mean, it's something that's kind of out of his control. So, I mean, that's something to take into consideration. I guess I never really thought about that. He's kind of waiting on jobs in 3 different counties because he can't burn the brush that he's bulldozed up. Old Camp Excavating. Bid is 55,800. Butler Masonry. And his is for 51,000 even. Maybe. Bring a letter opener next time. And this is JJC Excavating. He's got 2 options here. He's got debrushing and cleaning as listed on the spec sheet for 33,528. He's got option 2 recommended debrushing and cleaning with the adding of dipping and spreading of spoil for 47,498. So to go with the other 2 bids, it's 33,528.
And Tom, do you recall what JJC's bid was from the initial round of bidding on this job?
It was 37,000 and some change. I don't have it off the top of my head. I should have brought
Our,
that. I
our
didn't-
minutes said 32.
Did it say 32?
If that's the dome.
No, because this wouldn't have been last month. This
Yeah,
would have been
December.
Okay,
like April.
I'm sorry.
So it appears that the new bid is about 4,000. So the lowest bid that we have now, or the lowest quote that we have now to finish this job is $33,528. That is approximately $4,000 less than the previous bid to do this job. So the way that I see this is approximately $4,000 of the work was completed by Mr. Arnold, and it will cost $33,000 now to finish this.
Can you repeat what he was gonna do with those 2 different bids, though?
The second bid for $47,498
Yeah,
had additional work, including dipping
that
the
we
silt,
didn't need,
and that was not requested of the quote, and the other contractors did not bid that work.
yeah, okay. I'll second that then.
So I think my motion is, I have 2 motions. The first would be to select JJC Excavating for $33,528 to finish the racer ditch cleanup job.
Motion,
Second,
have a motion before us, properly second, roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes,
Ms. Reagan,
yes,
Mr. Christie,
Yes,
Mr. Buckle.
and my second motion would be to pay Mr. Arnold the difference between JJC's first quote for 37,000 and some dollars and his second quote, $33,528. So the difference between those 2 numbers, pay that to Mr. Arnold for the work that he did complete on the racer ditch. And do that instead of paying the full $19,000 for his claim that was for the work that was not complete.
And that would be approximately $4,000 or
$4,000. We'll have to look up and see what the,
$5,000 in that ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
what the difference between those two numbers.
Yes, understand.
Can I read something real quick?
Sure.
Going back to the September minutes, I had asked Mr. Murphy a question related to this, and he stated, there's a couple ways we could do it. My preference, if the board were to open it, would be to table it so that it would allow me to work an opportunity to look at it and determine what was done and what wasn't done and what might be a fair amount to pay, and then come back and discuss that at our next meeting if that's possible to the board. So I guess I'm still, I'd really like to hear what he came up with
All right.
related to that.
Well, let's not second my motion. And would you make a motion to table this until the next meeting? To table paying the Arnold claim until the next meeting?
I mean, I don't have any problem with, proceeding with the work and hiring someone new, but, I mean, we hire an attorney, he made a statement as to what he would do. I don't think it's unreasonable to hear what he came up with.
I agree.
So would you,
I think we just need a motion to table this, paying the Arnold claim until the next
So
meeting.
moved.
Second.
have a motion before us, properly second, roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead.
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Christie.
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Public comment. New business. Mr. Surveyor.
Do you guys want me to go over Mr. Howell's petition for a new regulated drain and where we stand on that?
Please do.
Okay, so in order to get a mutual drain or to file for a new regulated drain,
Before we go on, this is the drain at 700 East and 100 North, an area that has been, there was a side ditch that was increased in cross-sectional area to handle water flow, but it is not doing a good job of handling the issue. I'm sorry, go ahead, Tom.
and that's fine. So what the Indiana Code says is I've got to write up a preliminary report after I receive the petition filed in my office. So I went ahead and wrote that up, although I haven't received the petition in my office yet. And would you like me to read this preliminary report?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
There's a mutual drain that runs parallel to County Road 700 East, ending at 100 North, starting approximately 1,500 feet south of 100 North. This is in Township 20N, Range 11 East, Section 10. This mutual drain has a petition filed with the Delaware County Drainage Board to become a regulated drain under Indiana Code 36.92754. To be considered for an addition to Delaware County's regulated drainage system, a new or mutual drain must satisfy 3 requirements. Whether the proposed drain is practicable, and yes, there's already exists a ditch located in the best and most efficient location. There's already a ditch there. So a lot of this stuff is for new drains that haven't been built yet. There's already a drain there. Number 2, whether the proposed drain will improve public health, benefit a public highway and a public or public street in a municipality, drain the grounds of a public school, or be a public utility. Yes, as mentioned before, there already exists a ditch that helps move water from standing on County Road 700 East. This ditch benefits a county road and drains the surrounding properties already. Whether the cost, damages, and expense of the proposed drain will probably be less than the benefits occurring to the owners of the land likely benefited. As again, yes, during most rain events, this ditch functions properly and will move water from the road and surrounding properties and deposit the water into Hog Creek to the north. General maintenance in the form of dipping and mowing will help the runoff move faster and more efficient. In conclusion, I believe the 3 conditions have been met for the Delaware County Drainage Board to consider the above ditch to be recognized as a regulated drain. Now, in order for me to write that up, the preliminary report up, the Indiana Code says that the petition filed in my office must contain certain objectives, which I have not seen it. But to go through a couple of these, I'm pretty sure that most of them are on there. The first one is owners at 10% or more of the acreage. I'm pretty sure we had that before, even when we did the rate to reconstruct it. The legal description of each tract land and petitioner believes will be affected by the proposed drain. I already did that. I compiled that information and delineated it for Mr. Howe, so I have that here. The general route of the proposed drain, it's already constructed, it's there. The statement, in my opinion, of the petitioner, the cost damage, or the statement in the opinion of the petitioner, the cost, damages, and expenses of the proposed drain will be less than the benefits. We already went over that with my preliminary report. There's a drain already there. Now, if we need to reconstruct it, that's a different story, but I'm pretty sure the way this works is we need to accept it as a regulated drain before moving on. But these are just some of the things that I do not know that are on the petition because I haven't had it filed in my office yet. A statement in the line of the opinion of the petitioner, the proposed drain will, and it's the same information that I went over in my preliminary report. The name of the attorney representing the petitioner in the drainage petition, I'm not sure if he had his attorney on there. A statement that the petitioner shall pay the cost of notice of all legal costs if the petition is dismissed. All that stuff needs to be on the petition before it's filed in my office and before I write up this preliminary report. So I'm kind of one step ahead because I think we have most of this information at hand with us. We just need to get it together in my office. And then once that happens, according to the Indiana Code, the petitioner, which would be Mr. Howe, has to send out legal notices to all the affected landowners. I've got all the names, addresses, acreage, all that stuff that he'll need. And I'm not for sure. I assumed it would be something that my office could do, but according to the Indiana Code, Mr. Howe is the one that needs to do that.
And the difference between Mr. Howe's responsibility and the Drainage Board responsibilities is because this is a conversion of a mutual drain to a reconstruction rather than a reconstruction.
Correct. You can't reconstruct a drain that's not regulated.
Understood. So I think that the timeline of this project has gone, if I'm wrong on the dates, please let me know, but at the May meeting, Mr. Howell came to the Drainage Board and said that he had a problem. It was recommended to Mr. Howell that he file a petition for reconstruction of the Brown Ditch, which is adjacent to his problem area. At the June meeting, he had landowner signatures for over 10% of the acres, and he had completed a petition for reconstruction of the Brown Drain and presented that to the Drainage Board. Between the June meeting and the July meeting, our board attorney recommended that this not be a reconstruction of the Brown Ditch, but be a new construction of a regulated drain. So the landowners signed another petition, which was presented by Mr. Murphy, to meet the requirements of the construction of a new regulated drain. And that was presented to the board at the July meeting. At the August meeting, there was not enough notice to have a public hearing for the new construction. At the September meeting, we still had not had enough notice to have a public hearing. And now at the October meeting, we're saying that additional documents are required. And I think that Mr. Howell and everyone involved is frustrated with the length of time that this has taken to move forward with the project.
Understandable.
I think so too. So Tom, with that being said, I would like to work with Mr. Howell to get the rest of these documents that are required by the Indiana State Code to move forward with this project.
I agree.
I have already talked to Lockmuller Group about working on the engineering design for this project.
Great.
They are ready to go.
Okay.
They are waiting for the public hearing. If there's anything that's going to hold up this project, please let us know before the next meeting, and we'll do whatever we can to move this forward.
I will send well, you've got a copy of this. Like I said, I don't know what's on the petition.
The petition, the last petition that was filed was the petition that came from Allen County
Correct,
for construction of a new regulated drain.
correct.
I can email you a copy of that petition,
Okay,
so you can review it. It does not have all of these requirements on it.
okay.
I do not know if Mr. Howell has an attorney selected to
Okay.
represent him. He was not told, that he needed an attorney.
You're right.
So all that will be news to him.
And the only thing that I'd like to say on the project is, you know, the whole ditch that we're talking about is owned by the commissioners because at one point it was made into this county highway, or the surveyor's department, I don't know who, back in the day dug it. So the county commissioners own that, and I don't think it'd be a problem with them signing off on it as a landowner to get this reconstructed and help the people out, but that would be the only, because there's extra code in there if it's owned by a municipality or some sort of county government, but I'm sure that could all be taken care of rather quickly between attorneys.
How will we determine if this is a structure that is owned by the county commissioners?
It is, well, 90% of it is.
It is recorded?
Yeah. I just found this out. There's a small sliver basically that runs between the ditch, and it's on Beacon, so I'll have to go and see if it's recorded because it's actually on Beacon. I had it here somewhere.
Is that a place where the ditch runs really close to the road?
It's
Yeah.
basically on the road.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right on the road.
You guys can't see this, but there's a thin blue line right here between the road. That's what the commissioners own. They own 0.4 acres. That's basically where the ditch is, except for right here, right at the north part where it shimmies off into Hog Creek, right there at the structure on 100 North. But I'm sure that I don't think that would be a problem with the commissioners. I want to make sure that legally, we handle that however the Indiana code says, and they sign off on it that way. There's a whole nother section in there on that, and I didn't think it was an issue until I started zooming in and getting real close. I didn't realize that there's a small little sliver that's 1,500 foot long, and it's 0.3 of an acre. I didn't even notice it was there. So
Would you work with our legal counsel?
Yes.
To prepare any documents that are required for the county commissioners to act on abandoning or otherwise transferring?
See, our
This
next
property.
meeting is October 20th, so.
I don't know. I don't think that you'll have to abandon it. I just think there's extra paperwork that needs to involved in letting them on the reconstruction to make it a legal drain. And I don't know what that is off the top of my head because I didn't realize that this was owned by the county commissioners till late last night. And I didn't have a chance to go back over the code. It's long and fun. So I will work with the legal counsel, and I'm sure we'll get something taken care of rather quickly.
So if the paperwork gets finished up, then the next thing would be a public hearing,
Yes, and you need to give 30 days.
and there would be a public notice related to that.
Correct. I've got the information here somewhere on my 1,000 sheets of paper I have up here. Within 7 days after the attorney for the petitioner served notice of the hearing under section 57 of this chapter, so once we say there's a hearing, the fact that the filing and the pertinency of the petition, the name and identifying the number by which the petition is known, which is when I get the petition in my office, I will put a name on it. The general route of the proposed drain, date, hour, and place of the hearing of the board. The attorney for the petitioner shall, within 7-day period, mail a copy of the notice and 5-day return envelope to each owner named in the petition, which I have all the owners, everything for him. The attorney for the petitioner shall have a copy of the notice published in accordance with Indiana Code 531. The published notice shall be directed to whom it may concern and to the addressee on each letter that was mailed under subject B, so the ones that he mailed out. On or before the day of the hearing, the attorney for the petitioner shall file with the board affidavits showing the mailing of the notices under subsection B. So, you know, digging back through years past, I thought the Drainage Board and the Surveyor's Office did a lot of this, but according to the Indiana Code, it's the petitioner in this point, so that'd be Mr. Howard's attorney. They have to mail out notices and show affidavits that they've mailed them out, which I'm sure that an attorney could type up pretty quickly.
So I will say with some of that stuff that officially says the petitioner is, the planning commission deals with a lot of similar things. So what they do to ensure that the notice goes out properly is they have the petitioner provide stamped envelopes, but then they are the ones who actually address them and type up the notice and put it in just to make sure it does all the legal requirements. So that may be a better way to do it instead of, so that way, I mean, the county isn't eating the cost of all that postage, but at the same time, you're making sure that the legal requirements are met.
We could do that.
Thank you for that recommendation. That will be helpful.
So, Mr. Hamilton, you'll take care of Mr. Howe?
I would like, Mr. Borchers to contact Mr. Howell with
Okay.
any requirements that he needs to fulfill.
Okay.
If I need to be involved, I will be.
No, will you send me a copy of the petition?
I will.
Appreciate that.
Hopefully he'll be there next month.
What, yes.
Any other new business, Mr. Surveyor,
I don't believe so.
or old business? How about old business?
I don't have any at this time.
Can we talk about the, on East Jackson where Cooley came out and, investigated the drain?
Which one?
This
He's
was,
done two on East Jackson. Both of them were within,
Hickory Lane.
okay, Hickory Lane.
You said that there was a discussion with the stormwater, at the stormwater meeting?
Correct. If you remember, there's a young couple in here that bought a house. Water would settle in their yard. They had a structure in their yard. It was basically a large sump, but it didn't go anywhere. I don't know why you'd make a large structure like that, a drain, and not take it anywhere. So the Drainage Board has a couple structures that end in that neighborhood. And that was one of the areas where that water drains off of Hickory Street. So in order for us to even think about helping the young couple that came in here, which I forget their names right now, we wanted to make sure that our structures were working because they're old. They're all clay tile. So they're only like 4 inches and they're supposed to drain this neighborhood. So I got a hold of Cooley, who's one of the few people around here that will televise those. Televise them and found out that there's a few spots that need to be worked on. So with the stormwater meeting yesterday, they decided to go ahead and, if I believe that, to go ahead and fix those spots. Is that correct, Ms. Reagan?
Sounds right.
Yes. And then once we get where the water's supposed to go fixed, then we can figure out where to take water that's standing somewhere. But until we get
$20,000.
that, what's that?
Commissioners approved $20,000
Okay.
for that yesterday.
Okay. So, but until we get where that's going fixed, there's nothing we can do with the water coming in. So that helped us to help the stormwater and help out people on Hickory Lane to get the water moved off their property.
And do you anticipate in the future there being a request to connect this private drain to the regulated drain, the Truett ditch?
I don't know yet. I feel like if we get the drains taken care of in that neighborhood, because most of them are private drains or belong to the neighborhood, but they all go into the Truett drain. I feel if we get all those taken care of, that the problem will kind of take care of itself because, yes, they had water standing in the yard, but within 24 to 36 hours, it was all gone. And I think if we get everything taken care of in that neighborhood through the stormwater, we might be all right in the fact that we won't have to put any more tile in there to help out anybody else. But until we get it all fixed and see how it flows, I have no idea.
Okay. The next issue was the Don Chambers project on Romney Street. Was that closed and satisfied?
Yeah, I went down and talked to Mr. Chambers and explained to him that since there's not a regulated drain near him, I think it's, half a mile to the west of him, and that this is between two neighbors. I explained to him that the drainage board ruled that, that's not their responsibility and there's not much I can do, but if there's anything else I could help him with, I would, and he appreciated it and understood.
Those are all the questions that I had.
I've got a couple things. Joe, we were at the town hall meeting at Albany a few weeks ago, and I have the name Wilbur Turner for some reason had some kind of a complaint in Hamilton Township. Tom, have you been contacted about that?
Or was this the Wilbur Turner farm
Wilbur Turner Farm.
that Mike
On
Canton,
28.
that Mike Canton brought up?
Yes,
Mike Catron?
Katrin, yep.
yeah.
Mike hasn't called my office for a while that I know of. I mean, I know who he is.
Mike was concerned about the request to put in a private crossing on a regulated drain, north of 28. I'll have to look at my notes and get the exact location, but Mike was concerned that this would create a restriction and restrict water flow, stormwater flow. Is
I
that
think
the
we've
issue?
I just was getting bits and pieces of it, and I just had a little note.
Mike hasn't called my office and I haven't received any requests for a private crossing. The only one that we've had is the one over at Westo,
Okay,
schooling. So, I mean, I'm not saying someone's not going to build a private crossing. They do it all the time. But we haven't had a request in our office, and Mike or his son's usually pretty good at calling me on questions like that. So if I could get a hold of him and see.
this is property owned by Randy Gorski, and Mike was under the understanding that Randy was going to request a
He
private
is.
crossing.
So this is over between the west side of Country Village and basically LJ Stone area there, right off of Wheeling, kind of.
Yeah.
There's a field, and he talked to me about making a crossing there, and I said, "Give me the information that you need and what you're going to do." And he says, "Well, I'm not going to do anything till after the crops are off." And I said, "That's fine. Let me know when the crops are off, and you're going to get me the information. You just can't go and build a crossing without the drainage board's approval." He understood that, and I haven't heard anything back from him for a couple months.
And that
So-
was Gorski?
Yes, that's Randy Gorski.
In the event that there is a request to put in a private crossing of this waterway,
Yes.
I would like to have an engineering service provider review the plans
Okay.
and ensure that this does not create a restriction into Country Village.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's on the. Yeah, okay. I can do that.
Thank you.
So then on the Abe McConnell, are the crops still in the field, or are they?
35% of the crops have been harvested before the rain. I expect that number to go to 75% in the next 10 days. I believe that October 28th was the date that was proposed by Banning Engineering to come out and do a site visit and walk that drain. I believe that we will be able to conduct that site visit on October 28th and begin the reconstruction design process for that project.
Very good. Tom had a question about spraying the stuff that we approved or that we're gonna approve today. Is that some respray from earlier in the year? Is there places?
No, they
we
don't
spray-
charge me for respray.
Okay.
So if you see a place that needs to be resprayed, they go out and respray it for free. There was some areas that they couldn't get in because of crops. There's still a couple areas that they haven't been able to get in. So remember what the spring was. Crops got planted. There's areas that we can't get to while the crops are on. We try to get to it early in the year before the crops get too tall, but this year was especially difficult. So there's still a couple areas that they didn't spray, and then there's a couple areas that they could spray the majority of the ditch because beans are on it, and then the corn came up and then they came back and resprayed and then billed me for the whole ditch instead of just billing me for, half of it or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you just not have very many contractors to pull from to do spraying? Because it seems like this one company gets essentially all of that work.
As I said in the spring, there's a company that does it with drones, but they don't like to go through neighborhoods, and a lot of our stuff goes through neighborhoods, and they can't spray when the beans are on the side of a ditch. So I never really have had any experience with drones. I know Blackford County has, and he didn't have a great experience with them. And then the only other company that sprays that I know of anymore is Right Way Management, and they're out of way up northern Indiana, and they use huge log rollers. So when you're going through people's yards and stuff, you have a huge log roller. It seems like it's a kind of a overkill, but like I said in the beginning of the year, if this is something you want to look at or we want to try to find, you can get on the Office of the Indiana Chemist and find out who has the proper licenses, and we can send out to receive bids. But the problem with it this year is everything hit so fast in the beginning of the spring that we spray in 45 different spots. Not a lot of them are big. They're just areas that we've cleared that I put on the spray program, so we don't have to clear them anymore because it's so much more expensive. So if that's something you want to look at for next year, that's fine. We can look at trying to bring in some quotes or some bids on that.
What certifications do you require from a contractor to bid on this work?
You need to have your obviously your core license. You need Category 5 and Category 6.
Is there any other liability insurance that you require? for a
You have
contractor?
to have liability insurance.
And that's $400,000 of.
I don't remember what the county.
Okay.
Most of them carry, I think, a million anyways. Most of the contractors I have do.
Could AgBest do any of that work?
They're not interested in it. Either was Townsend, they used to do a lot of it and they don't do it anymore. It's kind of a specialized work. A lot of them don't have the Category 5 license, which is the aquatic to spray the cattails, indoor stuff growing into the water. It's just not a license that everybody gets. It's something that just, there's not a lot of people that do it.
I think I'd like to, maybe after the first of the year or whatever, we investigate that
We can.
a little bit closer.
That's fine. I can print off some. I can print off everybody that. Last spring I printed off everybody in the county that had the licenses that we need, and none of them did it, the spraying, except for K&H that were local contractors. Like I said, of someone that sprayed all over the state. I know a few of them, and most of them are not in business anymore. They've either moved on to other things, or it's a very niche area because everybody wants all the crops, all the ditches sprayed before the crops get tall. And then, so you only have about a month worth of work or 2 months worth of work. But we can definitely investigate it, and I can give us a list, and I can send out letters and see if they're interested in it. Anybody with the licenses, however you want to do it. But we can definitely look at it.
Let's do that.
Okay.
When you prepare that list, could you also include the work that has been done this year?
Yeah.
For the board, a summary of how many feet were sprayed, what was sprayed, and the total cost incurred for spraying.
Yeah, I've got that all ready in a spreadsheet, so
Perfect.
I can print that out. And another thing, this year we're probably looks like we're gonna have a surplus as of right now. So I'm gonna put together a list of areas that I think need to be debrushed. I know Miss Reagan's got a couple areas she's definitely mentioned to me, and
City bridges.
well, I can't do all the city bridges, but I can do some of the areas that you've mentioned and some other areas that people have called on. And I'd like to put that together for you guys and at sometime after the first of the year in early spring, if we want to send out bid packets on all those and
Yeah,
get that bid out early, I think we'll get a better price.
yeah,
When everybody's sitting around in January and February with no work on the books, they tend to bid a little cheaper than they do right now when they're trying to get stuff burnt and picked up and stuff like that. So if you guys have any areas that you'd like to see debrushed or
Tom, there were several complaints that I brought to you. Some of those were from Tom Spangler and Tim
Right.
Spangler. Those were debrushing jobs that we put off until the crops were off. What is the plan for those? Or are those some of them that you're referring to?
yeah,
as-
that's one area. The other one was log jams, but he's got one. Tom Spangler called me with an area to debrush, and it's one that would be really good to debrush now because it looks like it was debrushed about 10 years ago and then it hasn't been sprayed or anything. So all the trees are to the perfect area that they could still run them down with one of those track skid steers with the thing on the front versus any chainsaws. So I've got that on the list. I'd like to bring you guys the areas we kind of decide on it, and then once we do, then I can go out and write the specs on all of it because they're all going to be a little different. Like the one that goes through Ball State, that really needs to be done. Tom Spangler's on there. There's a few other ones over there by the bridge. You mentioned to me a couple of times. South of where the Ed's warehouse used to be. Is that or over by I don't remember where it's at. I've got it wrote down. Yeah.
Beautiful. So Tom, at the November meeting, will you have a list of those proposed projects that we can go through?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll put together the areas, aerials, and then some on-site pictures. Do you want cost estimates or, I mean, I don't really know where they fall on a lot of that, but I can kind of get close in a range, but at least I can give you a list of a dozen places that I think need to be done, and then we can decide, kind of rank them in order, and you guys can decide what we want to do. But like I said, I'd like to get those specs wrote up, plus the other two, the couple ditches that we do every year, and kind of get those bid out early in the year. If that's all right.
Even without cost estimates, I think it would be good for the board to go
Yep.
through that list and decide what we would like to move forward with requesting quotes for that work.
I can
and,
do that.
And get that process going.
100%.
Tom, before we leave, have you heard the timeline on the pond ordinance?
Last time I heard was sent to legal. I did have the lady that was in here that dug the pond. She sent a bunch of questions about the ordinance and all that. And I guess I want the drainage board to know that when a pond gets installed here in Delaware County, the drainage board only has two areas that they need to worry about. It's A, if they dig it closer to a regulated drain and that they want to reduce the right of way,
Yeah,
and B, if they hook into a regulated drain, they need to get permission from the drainage board. But besides that, you guys are really left out of it. I mean, that's just how it's wrote, but for the most part, all ponds that get dug are probably going to be somewhere going into a regulated drain. So, and I don't think there's as many ponds dug every year as what people think. I think there's a handful, if that. But that's just sent to legal, and as soon as we hear back from legal, then we'll take it to the commissioners and hopefully get that ordinance passed in the books.
yeah,
I don't think the concern is how many, it's if they're dug properly.
yeah.
Yes, I agree. And that's why we've been trying to work on that. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Yes, for sure. Any other comments from Mr. Surveyor?
Tom, I looked at the dashboard yesterday and looked like it was current,
Yeah,
and I appreciate that.
you're welcome.
Any other comments from the board?
Motion to adjourn.
Now we got a maintenance.
Oh, claims,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry.
I don't think we've done that. I'm old. I don't
Yeah.
remember
We,
everything.
we did not, you are
All right,
correct.
Make a
maintenance
motion.
claims. Any
Yeah.
questions?
No.
All right, I'm sorry,
Well, that's
Commissioner.
okay, $13,147.43.
You've made a motion.
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All, have a motion before us, properly second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Lovell.
Hearing no other comments, meeting, motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Need to sign.